Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of That's Dope. My name is Godswill. I'm here with the homies, Josh and Sam. I'm back in LA and we're all in separate parts of the world again. So, but I was like, let's get this year started right with the boys. Like, I don't really know what to talk about, but I was like, this would be a good way to get things started, just shoot the shit.
Didn't we do this last year?
We did.
It's like a ritual.
Yeah, I mean, it is, like end the year with the boys, start the year with the boys, right? Like Josh just turned 30, like literally that day that we recorded, and then now I'm 30. My back's starting to hurt. I've started getting great now. I don't know if I got gray hairs.
Just like that, it just turned on.
My back.
I got like 3 gray hairs. It's crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I've been having them.
Dang. Look at you. I mean, so far I don't have grays, but at the same time, maybe I'm not looking hard enough for it yet.
My barber made fun of me. He was like, "Oh, look at this. And I was like, "Come on, man."
Oh man.
Although, hey, the same guy for like 10 years.
Ooh, I need to get myself a barber. Like, I don't. If I got a barber, I think that would change everything in my world.
There's gotta be good barbers out there.
There are.
Like half therapists.
You gotta get like a solid edge up under that hair. It'd be sick.
Absolutely, but for me, I don't like barbers. Like, barbers have usually messed up my stuff a lot more than like have helped. Like, for example, like the barber that I was going to before I grew out like the sides of my dreads was pushing my shit back a lot, and now I actually have like my hairline was like really messed up. And I remember like one guy was high and he cut into my head and I was bleeding. Oh God. I was like, what is wrong? It's not that hard. I mean, it's hard, but not that hard. I don't know. Like, it's supposed to be your job. I don't know. Like, so
next time you're down here, bro, I got you for sure.
Hey, please let me know. And now I'm actually starting to go dreads in the front of my hairline because the guy was pushing up for so long. So it looked bad. I had a 5 head. Now it's back to 4.5.
4.5. Hey, rounds 4. Down.
Making it. So, but anyways, I feel good. This year I intend to get like my style popping. Like I'm gonna replace some shoes. Gonna try to look extra crispy this year. 30s, new decade. COVID, knock on wood, is hopefully gonna start calming down. I don't know,
bro. We got
I think it's a good thing with Omicron.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I think
too.
We're all getting immunity.
Like,
I mean,
hopefully. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was going through some stuff on that, and this is kind of what Sam was about to say anyway, what it sounded like he was going to, where they were talking about how viruses and every organism on the planet is all about reproducing, right? That's what we're made to do. So we evolve and we reproduce. It's just that viruses evolve faster, but their objective is to reproduce. And if we're dead, then it won't reproduce. Like, it doesn't help it any if we're all just dying, because then it can't spread.
Mm-hmm.
So, interestingly enough, what generally sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes happens with viruses is that they'll evolve and then they'll make it to where they try not to kill you. That way they can spread on, which is kind of what surprisingly is happening with Omicron, right? Or Omicron.
Omicron.
Omicron per CIA. Yeah, I keep thinking
that's the only way I know how to say
it. But I mean, because think about it, Delta was more deadly and it was killing people. And then Omicron has been said to be less deadly, like way less deadly, but more contagious. Which is generally how organisms work. They want to spread. If killing their host doesn't allow them to spread, that doesn't make any sense. So it seems like it might just go the path of like one of those shots or those flus where it's like we get it every once in a while, but all we get is like a mild cough.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, I guess I got COVID, but no one gives a fuck anymore. So hopefully it turns into one of those.
That's what
I've been checking like the death rate and the positive cases rate. Mm-hmm. Positive cases, shooting up, and death rates like slightly down.
Yeah, so then it's going to evolve again, which they've said it already has. Like, oh, you haven't heard about the whatever that pH something, and I was like, I'm not too worried because we'll see what it does.
We'll see exactly. Like, but the way I'm going is like we don't know what's going to happen, but I do agree.
Flatline.
I do agree. Like, I hope that everyone gets gets immunity, and like less like future mutations aren't as deadly. I do agree. It's like parasites, viruses, all these, they're not trying to kill you, they're trying to live off of you. Although their objective isn't to kill you, their objective is to live off of you. And
the selection pressure
they need you
is for reproducing.
The selection isn't for killing. Like, that's kind of for survival.
That's what we're hoping. So
we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it could be like one of those things where there are the other viruses where they plateau at a certain point with their kill potential, and then we just have to get as they evolve, we just have to get a vaccine every year, like a yearly vaccine, which could be a thing. We've done that with the flu. Yeah, we'd be like, hey, get your flu shot every year. You know what I mean? Yeah. The flu doesn't generally kill people anymore, but it's still a thing. So.
Yeah,
I mean, and I had Omicron. I'm not gonna.
So there we go.
I mean, I was sick for like 3-4 days, and then it was much better.
Nice.
And I mean, it was super mild, luckily for me.
Good.
And I've heard similar stuff. I don't know if you guys want to tell your experience, but I mean, it was like
I did my birthday party, and it might have been a spreader event. I'm sorry. Because
I mean, everyone's getting it now.
Exactly. I was like, it's sort of inevitable, especially like in Texas, especially like over the holiday parties. It's just sort of like, if not my party, probably something else, right? But like I feel bad. I hope, but you know, it's like the only thing I feel bad about is that like I do wish that like society was gonna be like more. Hey, also I can hear it clicking.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. I do wish that society was going to be like a little bit more, you know, like thinking about like the people who have to be like, who can't get it, you know, who shouldn't get it. You know what I mean?
I mean, they're not going to be out at parties.
They shouldn't.
So I don't think that's on any of us.
Yeah. Like I wish.
A new problem.
Yeah. Although, like the thing, like I guess, like when like this whole thing started, I was hoping that like we would have like compassion for the people like who couldn't be sick, right? But now it's too late, right? But it is what it is, right? Like that's sort of, I guess.
Probably. I mean, you're right to an extent because we probably could have been done with this a lot earlier. Mm-hmm. So what ends up happening is generally, so viruses generally evolve because they have time to like live in the host. And what happens is if they're in the host long enough because you're not vaccinated, then they'll have time to evolve. So generally, if we're taking a big, like, if we're just like betting, the evolutions of this virus have probably come from people who were not vaxxed, and then it spread on from there. Because if you're vaxxed, you get over it too quickly for it to evolve generally.
That was the theory for Omicron, is that it developed in some kind of like immunocompromised patient, like HIV or AIDS positive, and it just kind of like
stay in there and keep going. Yeah.
It's incubated in the person.
So like in theory, if we were all... Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, but in theory, if we were all to get vaccinated like immediately, like when it first came up, we probably would have shut it down to the point where it didn't have time to evolve, and it's just like, where do I go? And there, you know, it'd be over. But that didn't happen because, you know, we're people. So you know.
Yeah. Oh well. Like I'm hoping that this like would be like a good lesson. I mean, this isn't the end of viruses or getting sick or pandemics or whatever, I guess, right? I hope that like whatever happens in the future is like we learned a little bit of something, but
it's not the end of civilization. Like we survived this, I think. It's safe to say. I'm not going to call it right now. I'm just saying.
Right.
we're not done.
Wait till COVID Omega. And then
Giga
COVID killed everybody. I don't know. Like knock on wood, we should be good. Yeah. Like I don't think you know, like I'm excited. Like I think like this will calm down. Sort of not the best start to the year, but I'm excited for this year, honestly. Like I feel pretty optimistic. You know, like
same.
Okay. Like how do you guys feel about things to come?
I feel fantastic.
New
job. Yeah. I got money. About to get a new place.
Yeah.
What else we doing? New coach.
Yeah.
For the fight game, everything feels good, bro. We're come March when the fight actually happens, I'm gonna feel fantastic if it goes my way.
Yo, yeah. Can you tell us about the fight or anything, or you have to keep that secret?
No, I can talk about it. So, right now, the guy I'm fighting is the guy I fought back in 2019. So, and it's definitely. I was talking to some of my sparring buddies today about it because they were laughing because we know how sleazy promoters can be. They just kind of they have a narrative in their head what they want to happen. So a lot of times they will just kind of like screw people over. Like I had a friend named John. I don't know if you remember him, Godswood, the Asian kid that was at one of my fights way back when. I have a picture. Oh
yeah.
John was like a Shaolin monk for years from China. He came over here when he was like 20, I think, or 18. He used to be spreading Shaolin monk stuff, but then he got into MMA. I showed him some MMA stuff like way back.
Corrupted him.
Yeah, his like temple and stuff were really mad. They were actually very mad. It was crazy because they're like, you're not practicing the techniques or the things we've taught you.
You have strayed from the path of the warrior.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was bad. Because I remember we were in the gym and he was like, oh, let me just test it out because he's very inquisitive and I like that. I like people who like want to try stuff.
Yeah,
but he tried to do a monkey style thing on me, but I just like I can actually grapple. So I was like, that doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like, I just didn't feel. He's like, I didn't feel like what I was doing was effective. And I was like,
now you know it's not.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna tell you. You've been living your whole life by something. So he wants to, But anyway, they like just recently one of the promoters in Dallas set him up with a guy. So John has 6 pro fights total at this point.
Wow.
He's been fighting. He's got 6 pro fights. I think he goes like maybe he might be 3-3 or 4-2. He's doing okay. He's a small guy, like 135-ish, 45-ish. But it's like they've set him up with a Muay Thai specialist that's like world renowned.
Oh.
But they only had 1 MMA fight. That was the caveat. The dude had 150 Muay Thai fights. And he had fought legends. Like, when you look at his resume, he fought 2 legendary Muay Thai practitioners and beat them.
Wow.
And then they gave him to John. And they were like, oh, no, it'll be cool. Like, he's only had 1 MMA fight. John is a striker. So, literally, I looked at that on paper. I was like, hold up, that can't be right. I was like, this must be a typo. And my friends got back to me the next week and like, oh, did y'all hear about what happened on the weekend? John fought that guy and got knocked out in 21 seconds.
Whew.
Damn.
Bruh. It was filthy. It was so bad. I was like, but that's promoters. They just want to build their characters. Like they have a narrative they want to spin. They're like, we got to get this guy up there. So they'll just kind of sacrifice people.
Damn. Sacrifice.
Yeah, that's what that was. There's no reason that should have happened.
That sucks. But I guess like, so your promoter, like, I guess like how's that going? Yeah.
This guy, I'm going to say it here because I don't give a fuck. Hopefully we win on March. I can be like, yeah, fuck off, bro. But so guys, you remember when I fought that guy in Arkansas, he was 5-1 and he was he's pretty well known in that area. He's like their hometown guy. He's from that area. And essentially what ends up happening is like, we go in there and we beat the piss out of this dude. I'm talking like
first
round 1. Yeah. Round 1. Sam, you were there too.
Yeah. So, yeah. I remember.
But do you remember what happened when we were at the weigh-ins? Do y'all remember the weigh-ins?
Yeah, he was overweight.
He was overweight by 4 or 5 pounds. And they were like, the guys who were checking our weight, this is a championship fight. Guys who were checking our weight checked me first. Said, okay, cool. He made the weight, right? Or I think I was like, I didn't make weight. I was a pound over. So we went back up to the room. And I shaved off that pound. Yeah, you just remember me going in the shower or the tub and doing all that shit. Got another pound off. Went back downstairs and made the weight. I was drained. I was terrible.
Yeah.
I was drinking on Pedialyte, like sucking it through. Like, it was crazy. So then this dude pulls up and he is 4 or 5 pounds over the weight and looks like he's hella chilling. And I saw that he didn't make weight and they were like, the judge who's fucking watching us is like, hey man, he was sick. He makes excuses for him. He was sick recently. It was really hard. I was like, hey, man, I even try to be nice. I told him how to lose the weight. I tried to tell him, I was like, hey, well, here's what you do. Go upstairs, put some towels at the door, do all this, turn the shower on, steam it out. I was trying to help. So one of my boys, I think it was Keon, who stayed downstairs to watch. And we all went back upstairs. But then essentially we hear Keon comes back up and is like, hey, yeah, the bub didn't make weight. He was like 2 pounds over. He came back down, he was still 2 pounds over. I was like, fuck. Like, but then I get downstairs and the judge was like, oh, he made weight. We're good to go. They just straight lied to my face. Like, yo, he made it. He's good to go. Whatever, right? We're on for tomorrow. I was like, all right, whatever, man. Like, so I'm already knowing that they're just allowing this man to do a lot of shit. Because people
want him to win. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for the layman person who doesn't understand how much his weight cut is, it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot on your body. And that extra 5 pounds at the end is a lot. Like, if you tell me to fight at 175, I'm a whole different person at 170. You're draining water.
You feel like it's the hardest part of like the whole like preparation for the fight, right?
Oh yeah, the weight cut sucks. So giving people those advantages it's extreme. So anyway, but we move forward and we take the fight. We end up beating him. But after I beat him, they wanted to offer me. They're like, hey, you're champ or whatever, right? So now you get to fight whoever you want. And they offered me 3 people, but he was one of the 3. And I was like, I'm not taking that fight again. Like, why would I rematch? I'm just going to move on to somebody else, right? Yeah. COVID happens. Fight gets, canceled. Oh, no. I end up having to fight him anyway. They had a rematch lined up for him, remember? And then COVID happened, and then I didn't get the rematch because it was like 2 weeks out. And I was like, I got to pull out. We can't even travel right now. Like, Texas kind of closed down for a second.
For a second.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, that didn't happen. So here we are a couple years later. I vacated the belt because I'm like, I'm not fighting amateur anymore. I went to pro, and I told, like, the guy hit me up a couple days ago, the promoter, and was like, hey, I wish I could just read the message. He goes, hey, he's like, how about you want to fight Tyler again? Ha, 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 ha. Like, and I was like, bruh, I was like, man, whatever. It's cool. I was like, yeah. I was like, it doesn't really matter to me. And I told him, I was like, I'm walking around at a lighter weight now, so I can be ready for all these fights as they come now. I don't want to keep doing this weight cut thing. I just want to be lighter. And then as I told him that, he then responds with, he says he's walking around at a lighter weight now.
Exactly. Message to the other guy, right?
Yeah. And I was like, and I just kind of paused and I gave him a thumbs up. And I was like, what are the dates? And he was like,
just tell me the dates.
Yeah. I was like, just what are the dates? And he's like, February this, March 5th. Is February 15th, March 5th, and April something. I was like, give me the March. And let's knock this out. And then he didn't respond, but he that's where we're at right now. So we're gonna get that fight going with Tyler again, most likely, and here we go. I'm getting ready for March. Regardless, I'm gonna be at a lighter weight. Like, I'm already a little floozy looking.
Hey.
I'm trying to get a little bit smaller. That's the plan, to walk around a little bit lighter weight. So,
there we go. Yeah, so that way we shouldn't be too hard.
Well, no more 205, 208s. I think I'm 190. I was 192 this morning.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm 192. So now my weight cut is 22 pounds, and I'm gonna keep working it down to probably about. I want to get off of a weekend, like eating whatever I want, and be 190. And then I'll be like, when a fight gets announced, I'm like, hey, easy. Let me knock that out real quick.
There we go.
So that'd be way better. We should be able to get more fights in. Hopefully I don't get injured. All that good shit.
Yeah, we're rooting for you, man. Dude, I'm like, definitely, this is exciting. I mean, if it's down in Arkansas, we'll be there. And yeah, I mean, definitely we gotta, have a good start to the new year. But, whatever happens. And yeah, we're hyped for you.
Oh, thank you. It's funny. It's really funny. This is where it becomes manga worthy. I'm talking like, it was cool. The first that I ever beat, his name was Nicholas Colazo. And he was a 6'5", he was 6'5", and we beat him, but it was right. It was my first amateur fight, and we ended up fighting that guy, and he was cool. You might remember him.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up switching gyms recently. All this stuff happened. I switched to gyms in Fort Worth, and when I started going there, this dude tapped me on my back. I was like, hey, what's up, Josh? And he tapped me out, and I was like, he's wearing a beanie. I was like, who the fuck is this? Ends up being Nick. Hey. Nick trains at this gym now. Nick is also a champion in the organization he ended up fighting for. And he was just like, we talked about it. We were like running together. Like, we were jogging one morning, like as we were working out, and we started talking about all the fight, like how the fight went, what was going through our heads. It was crazy. It was completely insane. And I remember feeling bad. I remember he remembers what I said to him after the fight.
Were you like DMing him?
No, it was like after the fight, like in the ring when I picked him up off the ground, because I felt bad about hitting him because like I had mounted him. And I just started hitting him, and he didn't have the answers to get me off of him. So I hit him a couple times. I looked at the ref and was like, "Yo, we gonna stop this?" And the ref looked at me and it was like, "All right, fight's over." But I remember picking him up afterwards, like grabbing him and picking him up. And I said, I asked him. I literally asked him this morning, but I said to him, I was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. I've been doing this longer than you. That's all it is." And it's like, because I think at this point he's only been doing this for 5 years, and I'm at 12.
Oh.
So, but here's the crazy thing with the coach he's at right now, or the gym he's at right now, the gym that I'm now currently at, his striking has I'm talking, it went from like curling to Vegeta type shit. Like, he's a different person. His striking is so good. And we actually had a fight Saturday, And it was like we were supposed to be sparring, but coach put us in there, and he knew our history already. He like knew who I was. He knew what Nick was. And he had me fight with some dude for 3 rounds, and I beat the piss out of this guy. Like I kicked that guy's legs into the bleacher. And then Nick ended up fighting somebody else. For about 3 rounds. It was Minicon. He actually fought Minicon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Minicon's getting in there.
Oh, nice. He's going to your gym now. That's dope.
Yep. Minicon's he's a cool dude. So essentially from there we moved forward, and they were like, "Hey," coach was like, "Josh, get it back in there." He's like, "Nick, stay in." And then we all knew what it was. We're like, "Oh shit!" Like we've been trained together for like a month now. We haven't had to fight each other at all. But I'm like, this is and then Nick literally said it out loud. I was leaning against the ropes. I remember just trying to be cool about it. And Nick was like, "Yo, this is the rematch. This is like the Rocky 3 rematch, huh?"
Yo.
And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I was like, "But I'm gonna go in there with confidence, do my thing." I kid you not, we did a straight boxing match. There was no kickboxing in this round. That dude boxed my face off the first round.
Oh,
like I was like, and I haven't I haven't lost like a boxing match to that extent in a long, long time.
How'd that feel?
It was interesting because it's like I never got demoralized where I felt like I was going to get killed, but like I couldn't land my shots because he was so good at his defense is so good. It was just hard to explain. Like you have to imagine like an Ippo episode where like Ippo's just whiffing shots and getting countered off everything. That's kind of what it felt like. Yeah, I just kept, after a while, I got to the point where I lost composure a little bit. Not to the point where I was freaking out, but I started coming forward. And I was like, I got to just rush in. I got to get close to him because he's so tall. And he just kept taking me apart. And uppercuts and hooks and everything. And then I remember when the round was over, they had 2 other guys go back in. And I sat off to the side and I was like, and coach looked at me and was like, "He's a different guy now, right?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You got to watch out. He's southpaw." And here's the thing. In my head, I was like, "Oh, fuck, he's southpaw." And southpaw for layman's, again, it just means he's left-handed. But I didn't realize that while I was in there because I was so more enamored by the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's why nothing's working. All his shit is reversed. You know what I mean? So imagine playing chess, Sam, and you know how you like, if anyone's ever played chess, and you understand like the queen's here, their queen's opposite. And then, everything is opposite. So that's how your plays have to be coordinated across the board.
They're used to fighting, orthodox.
And now imagine someone takes their queen and puts on the opposite side of the king. The whole board is different now. And all your plays that you would normally do wouldn't work because now you're setting yourself up for failure, for new patterns. That's what it is. Only 16% of people are left-handed. So I was like, oh, shit. And when I realized he was left-handed, I remember what my old boxing coach said when I was like 24. He was like, you have to step out on your left foot and hit him with the right hand. Use your right hand like it's your jab. That's basically what he said. Yeah, if they're left-handed, you don't use your left hand. You don't use your jab hand anymore. You use your right hand like it's your jab. So that means you just kind of lean in and you keep hitting them with this. Because if you go down the middle, they'll beat the piss out of you. Because they're used to fighting right-handed people all day.
Oh.
So, yeah, round 2 we came in there. And, bro, that was a fight. That was the craziest fight. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, it's almost like...
Is there video of this? This is
manga
worthy, like you said.
There was a guy recording, and one of the coaches was recording. But yeah, dude, it started off, it was kind of rough. Like, he started doing his thing, like trying to catch his groove. I realized what was happening, like a lot faster, because now I realized he was southpaw. And then I leaned in, and I stepped outside of his foot, and I leaned in with my right hand, which is like my best punch anyway. And I caught him, just like I did back in 2017 when I fought him. I caught him, and his head snapped back. And everyone, it was like, oh, because there was like a bunch of people there watching. Everyone was just like, oh, shit. And then he came back and got his composure, and he just started going for combos. And I started just getting hit with some nasty body shots. But I was like trying to play him off. So then I had to muscle him, moved into a corner, and started wailing body shots back. Got him like 3 times. It was crazy. I don't know how to explain it, bro. It was like, that was a fight for all intents and purposes. I can't hear out of my right ear right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
I didn't say that, but yeah, I can't.
Man.
It's just like, I gotta wait for that to come back.
One thing I always wonder, I guess, like with sparring is like, how hard are you supposed to go? Like, are you supposed to be treating this
Not
like
that
a real
hard.
fight? Okay.
You should not. If you're a good sparring partner, generally you should both walk away fine.
Okay.
But the thing is, in that moment, our gym specifically, any gym that has a boxing route generally goes decently hard. It's boxing gyms have a tendency to like be like nose grind shit. You're like, get hit, fuck it, get used to it.
Yeah, that's, I guess what you're supposed to. I guess, right? That's one thing I was wondering. I was like, how do you get better about like taking hits in a way? Do you just keep taking hits and you learn to get better, or are you supposed to go light until like it's like fight time for real?
I would say, and this is the future now. So with the data we have, I would say go light a majority of the time. I think hard sparring before a fight, you might have to go hard sparring like maybe twice leading into the fight. Like just so you know where you're at, like when people are going full speed, feel it's like so you can actually register what the speed is and everything. Mm-hmm. But generally, for your longevity as a person, and everything else just experience wise, I would say go like 60%. You can keep all the speed there, but just open your hand up so the shots aren't like crushing down on people, right? Just open your hand up and just tap them. Make sure they're tap. Hit them with whatever you want. But get used to that. Body shots can be hard because they're body shots. Who cares? And leg shots are the same thing. But head shots, you don't want to concuss anybody. Like if I'm sparring Sam, the idea is to make Sam better, not to concuss him and put him in the hospital. Like that's not what we're doing, right? And I like to think of it like a fighting game, right? Like who's going to win in a Smash game? The guy who can only play Smash like 3 games a day because he keeps breaking his hand, or the guy who takes it easy and can play 90 games or whatever in a week. The guy, you see what I'm saying? Like each one of those sparring matches is considered a game essentially, and you want to get as many in as you can. So if you're getting concussed all the time, that doesn't help. So
and in Smash, you do more damage if you're hurt, right? Not like real life.
Oh, rage.
If
not real life.
You're not as strong.
Yeah, but that's all I'm saying. I want you to be able to get as many games in as you can. So the idea is to not go so hard that you're hurting each other.
That makes sense.
That day was a little wild, but generally, it's way cooler.
It sounds like an exception.
Some
things need to be resolved.
It had to happen. Yeah,
it had to happen. Yeah,
that's cool though. Like, I'm that's hype that you get to like rematch somebody and they actually got better. But
he's so good.
Yeah, I think the same weight class.
I think his hands are better than mine. Huh?
Is he like a higher weight class?
He's 6'5", but he's my weight.
Oh,
like he's walking around 193 this morning.
Wow. Okay.
Body composition's different.
And then do you like you said it was just boxing, right? Like was it supposed to be just only boxing, right?
I don't know if he was joking or not. But we could have done either one. So like the first guy fought, the first 3 rounds, I did kickboxing. But he didn't put his shin guards on. And when he saw me kick the guy's legs a bunch, he was making jokes. He's like, "That's why I didn't put my shin guards on. I'm not trying to get kicked by a dude." Oh, because he remembered. He actually said this. He remembered the kick I hit him. Remember when I remember hearing the kick. He remembers that. He was talking about it
for 5 years.
Yeah. Bro, he talked about it. Like I remember recording like from the outside, and I heard it like from like the second row. I was like, "Damn." Like,
I kicked him in the body, and he was bleeding in his body. Like his body was, bruh. It was nasty. It was the nastiest. Like it was a switch kick on my left side.
Yeah,
because I didn't remember it was a switch kick. I thought it was my right leg, but he said it was a switch kick.
Wow.
But yeah, that was crazy, man. He remembers that. So it's just weird being able to talk to someone you've actually had that type of fight with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess like you never really talk. You never talk to someone you fight, especially someone you beat, right?
Yeah, this is like going back and talking to Cell and being like, "Yeah, remember that shit? Like, cool thing. We're over that now." You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
It's fun.
That's a unique advantage, almost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, seeing where you're at and how you, because they can give you actual insight that you didn't have before. You're like, that shot hurt me. And I told him, like, when you hit me with that jab at the beginning, I couldn't see on my left eye. He's like, my coaches were yelling that, but I didn't know what they were talking about. His coaches were yelling, he can't see, and he was like, "What?" And he didn't understand. And then I hit him with that kick. But
I'm just impressed that you can remember everything.
Yeah,
and even in sparring,
my first one, I remember that shit 100%.
That's crazy. Even with all the adrenaline, you remember every moment. That's crazy.
So I think that's because of ADD. My brain doesn't go
that's
to
the opposite, right?
Yeah, my brain doesn't let me rest. Nah, it's like my brain doesn't really let me rest. My brain just constantly keeps looking and analyzing things. Overanalyzation is a constant problem with ADD people. So even when I'm in the cage, I'm overanalyzing things. It's
almost like an advantage, like a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because if I can keep my nerves, because the thing is, like Godso said, a lot of people do kind of zone out. They zone out and they just kind of, they're fighting. And they're like, I don't remember what happened. I'm on autopilot. I'm just doing it. But for me, like, I'm very much in there with some dude trying to take my head off. And I'm like, shit. like all the time. Like I'm like, I hope I don't get dropped. I hope this doesn't happen. Who's watching this? Fuck. Like my brain is going to everything constantly. But I can also pick up on patterns because I'm very cognizant of what's going on.
Yeah, I'm also wondering like how well you can hear people trying to advise you about things. You know,
I can hear all that shit, bro.
It helps. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear all of it. I can like, unless someone's really raspy. Like Even was like at one point I can't remember what Even was yelling. Even was yelling something. He said "fuck him up." That's what he was saying. Even was saying "fuck him up," and I couldn't understand him.
Great
advice. He was so raspy. He yelled so much that his voice got raspy and it kind of got drowned out. But generally, I can hear everything.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I feel like the way I imagine it is just that like it would just be background noise or almost annoying to be like, what do you mean you're trying to tell me what to do? You don't know how it is in the ring, you know? But I guess that's cool. That's good to hear.
Nah, we're gonna be okay. I'm actually adopting their style of striking, his boxing style. I had to just be honest with myself. I was like, I think his striking is better than mine.
Hey, that's dope.
I don't know about the kicks. We didn't get to experience that, but with the punches specifically, his boxing is cleaner than mine. And I was like, that is hella impressive. So we talked about it. And he was like, if you teach me some wrestling shit, he's like, I would love to teach you some more hand stuff. And I was like, wow. Absolutely. So even today, like it was fun because today I went up there and it was just me and him and his brother. And we just like ran. And that's when we got to talk a lot of this shit out and explain everything. And then we were in the mirror. I was throwing my punches and I was like, hey, how are you sitting on your back leg? And he would just be like, yo, like the way coach has been teaching me is like to lean back here. That way you have more time to react to things. And I was like, I like it because my stance has always been front foot heavy, which means I'm heavily offensive, moving in, doing a bunch of shit, but he leans back. His natural stance is him leaning back. So he gets like an extra, I don't know, couple milliseconds of reaction time on everything. And then when I miss, he strikes in. Like he starts hitting his shots. I'm like, that's beautiful. I love it. And that's going to be huge for, Tyler didn't see this. That's going to be huge for Tyler because Tyler likes to brawl. So if you give me time to react, even more time to react to his punches, we're probably going to knock out.
Do you know your reaction time? Like however many milliseconds? Have you tested that?
I test it with a fucking Apex every night.
Oh, okay.
I don't know my actual reaction time, no. I just play shooting games a lot, honestly.
I don't know. I feel like that'd be such a huge advantage if you had 10 milliseconds on the other guy.
I think video games are good for that.
Few inches, right?
Yeah.
I remember there was a reaction test that Sam showed me a long time ago, like even on the show.
We actually had on a podcast, the human benchmark.
Yeah.
Where it's a red screen, it turns green and you click. And
that's cool.
it does it like 5 times. But I think it changes with age a little bit, but certain people just have it faster than others.
Yeah, it makes sense for a fighter to have a really fast reaction time, especially one that's a gamer too. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should keep you a little bit sharper. And for me personally, I've always been a big advocate of not relying on young man things. Like even when I was younger, I tried not to. When I started understanding when I was like 26, I started realizing I was like, I don't want to rely on like explosiveness or rely on my natural power or anything like that. Like I want to be able to rely on technique. And that's kind of when I stopped moving around as much. I used to like bounce all over the fucking place when I fought, and I switched it to a style that's a little bit more like relaxed because I want to be able to outskill people at an older age. I don't want to be like the only reason he was good was because he was young and then he got old and then his pep left and his reaction time failed him. You know what I mean? Because like Floyd Mayweather's 50, but he's dodging punches because he's defensively sound. That's what I want to be. I want to know all the tricks. Like this little trick of just leaning back from being here, my head being here, to me sitting back here, just naturally as my stance and having that extra space to see things and pick counter shots. That's beautiful shit. It's a little trick that a younger guy wouldn't know. And I want to gain all that knowledge and just be like, yo, I'm just going to be good, but I'm also still stronger and faster and got better cardio than you. So good luck. That's what I want it to be.
Oh, hey, that's tight.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I mean, we'll see.
Hearing you explain this, definitely. Like I have a lot of faith in this. I mean, the way that you demolished him the first time, absolutely. But the fact that you're taking this seriously and that you are trying to continuously improve your technique, because I guess one thing that comes to mind is like, isn't this harder? Like, now that we're in our 30s and at least I'm always thinking that like fighters are just in their 20s, I guess, and stop when they're in their 30s. But
I mean, fighter peaking is like what 35 or it's like mid 30s, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay.
For like
it's
big
weird.
Guys, even later, even
crazy enough. Currently, like Sam's saying, you look at it like top 10 fighters, most of them are in their 30s for each weight class.
Oh.
Usman is, I think, 33, 34. If you look at Daniel Cormier, who was a light heavyweight, one of the best light heavyweights ever, he's 41.
Oh, wow.
Yoel Romero, when he was a 185er, was 42. John Jones is 36. Maybe 37. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he's like number 4 in my weight class. Number 5. He's 36, 37. Gabriel Varga, he's a kickbox champion. He's 37. He's one of the best fighters in the world. Like, it's weird. And it's because in the past, like I've said this before, but in the past, fighters were all about like, yo, I hit you as hard as I can and I wear tattoos and, fuck it. And then they just brawl it out and whoever had the durability and the reaction time wins, right?
Yeah.
Whoever hits harder, all that shit. So it was a young man's game. But the thing is, the game has been around for so long now. People have pushed the game to its limits and have been learning all these techniques. And now the older guys are the ones that are winning because like technique has surpassed athleticism. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. If you compare it to other sports like football or baseball or whatever, they all peak earlier. But I guess those in the grand timeline of things are, newer sports. Like people have been fighting since, the beginning of time.
Since the beginning, right?
Yeah. So I guess.
Well, the thing is,
I would imagine that fighting would be like the most destructive, I mean, it's literally like, all right, like we're literally, putting our bodies on the line, like every part of it versus, like going wrong, like baseball, is or golf. Running.
Yeah. I think it's the skill set. So with fighting, there's so many things you have to work on compared to where if you're playing baseball, say, what, do you have a good pitch? If your pitch goes, you're out. You're now an old man, right?
Yeah.
But it's like with fighting, there's a lot more technique than any other sport, I would say. And I know that sounds like rude to say because I'm like, I know golfers going to be on here like, oh, golf's got technique. But there's not nearly as many techniques as there's in fighting. Let's be completely honest.
Honestly, if anyone was going to complain, is like, really, don't get me wrong. You can be a very skilled tennis, everything, absolutely. Praise to you for sure. Better than me. But fighting, come on. Like, fighting is crucial at every aspect of life. If zombie apocalypse happens, I want a fighter, not necessarily a golfer. Not necessarily. Hey, golfer might be great, but I definitely want the fighter guy.
Yeah,
punch the zombie's head off.
Dude, I've always dreamt about that type of shit. Like with gauntlets though, like wearing gloves.
Yeah.
That will
okay, I was gonna ask, like, what is the weapon that you would want as a fighter?
I'd order one of those fucking gloves, like those indestructible gloves. You know the ones I'm talking about, the military grade gloves.
Yeah.
I'd order those and just start punching the shit out of things.
Hey,
it'd be fun.
Would that even? I mean, what would be the zombie apocalypse weapon with your skill set?
Anything that has to do with bludgeoning things, probably anything like melee.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be
like brass knuckles type or.
Well, those gloves
like maybe like a full body type of like armor type of deal. Right?
Yeah,
or would it be like kicks mainly? With like, what would be the strongest attack you have, like against a zombie? I feel like a kick would be way.
They have like little metal casings on your knuckles. The ones I'm talking about. You can order them, but they're marketed as indestructible. Like you can't chop them or anything or bite through them. And like it shows guys like hitting things and just breaking them apart because of how hard the knuckles are. But I feel like that'd probably be it. And I say this only because people be like, why would you want something close range? That's stupid. Just get a gun. But
or guns run out.
Yeah, like I don't run out of ammo. That will never be my issue. You know what I mean? So it's like as long as I'm protected, I wear like a fucking biker helmet from fucking Sam or something, and I have a thick ass I have my fucking equipment on. Like, yeah, I just go in there. I'm like, hey guys, don't worry about it. We're running low on ammo. Let me just go out there and do my thing for a little bit and just kill things. You know what I mean? It'd be fun.
That sounds cool.
We save ammo and it's quiet. There's benefits in being melee. It's like an RPG. There's benefits.
Yeah,
there is. I don't know. I feel like maybe some kind of knife technique would be the optimal if you're trying to choose a weapon to train ahead of time. But
absolutely,
or like
because honestly, I don't like
I like seeing machete or something like that, like a longer type of knife or blade weapon. But
like a halberd maybe.
I'm always nervous with halberd, like axes. I'm always nervous about them getting stuck in things.
Yeah, that is true. Like in bone.
That's a great point. Yeah.
I'm like, I could definitely these are decaying bodies. If I can't, if you can break here's the thing with brass knuckles, you can crack an actual man's skull that's alive. So if you got some decaying body, I feel like you'd crush that shit like a watermelon.
Wow. But you are taking like a lot of force to your own arm. And you're not getting like a lot of mechanical advantage, from swinging something.
We punch all the time, Sam.
Like
hey,
maybe he's.
I'm just trying to think.
No, I mean, because I feel he would say the same. Like if he gets hurt, then it's like, well, weapon's broken, I guess, right?
And it's like you're not getting any, advantage over the zombie because like you're optimized for this 1v1 fair fight. Where if you're trying to, go versus 100 zombies, you might need some kind of way to cheat.
Okay, so is this a tight room? What are we talking about right now?
That's a good point, right?
Because I'm also about like a neighborhood or something.
Okay,
right.
Neighborhood. Yeah, then it's just like, here's the thing. Like, if they were all surrounding me, it'd be a little different, right? It'd be like if I was wearing full body armor, like I was talking about before, like like we're talking like
like SWAT gear or something like that, right?
Yeah, and I'm out there. Yeah. Then we just punch our way through. We try to get through there just to get out of the situation because there's no point in trying to kill all of them.
Or maybe it would be like judo, like you just get them on the ground and then you can finish them that way. I think
we can always
be the
that's
best.
just part of fighting, right? Like just take them out and curb stomp them.
Yeah,
but, like,
I think
personally, I don't want
way
to grapple any zombies.
Hitting them.
That's a good point.
I mean, you can just kick the legs out, right? I don't know what the best method is for.
Yes, I could absolutely destroy their kneecaps. That'd be gross.
Maybe that would be like that was the peak method or something. You just kick the knee and then you
and then stomp them.
Yeah, that could be it.
Because one thing I worry about is like they fall forward on you. I guess if you kick their knees out, right?
I mean, there's ways, right?
I don't know. Yeah. You
kind
guys
of
are the fighters, right?
If I have fucking body gear, I'm not worried about them like touching me too much. It's more about them biting on some part of my body that didn't have gear on.
We need to test this. We need to get zombies suited up. We need to go to a warehouse somewhere.
I absolutely promise you.
Just go as hard as you can against this guy, right? He's gonna act like a zombie, right? Just crush his head in. Right?
I would like that YouTube video.
That would be pretty cool. Actually, I'm thinking in my head of like there's like a show, like the fighting science type of show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that they used to do back in the day, like with the ballistic jelly and all.
We'd say that. We'll have it to where there's 5 guys and they're wearing gear and there's me in the middle. And I'm like, if any of y'all can, they'll wear gear that way they don't get hurt by me or vice versa. And then they'll have to touch me and like they'll have to get, they'll just have to hold me. If they can hold me, it's over.
Right.
You'll be the new Detroit.
But they all get 2 shots. They get 2 shots. If I hit them twice, any of them, they're dead. They count as dead.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah. Hey. It's like
I'm assuming in this scenario, I'm assuming that the gloves I'm wearing would allow me to punch as hard as I want, which means I would pretty much crack their skulls every time I hit them. That's what I'm assuming. If that doesn't happen, it's like me just hitting a zombie 8 times, and yes, highly ineffective.
Yeah.
but
that's what I'm saying though. Like, I think the best method would just be to trip them somehow, or just get them on the ground.
You're not wrong.
Then, I mean, the curb stomp, you can't do that really in fighting, right? But
depends on the
in real life, if you're against 100 zombies.
Yeah.
I think it works. Making me think of like an event now. I sort of want to see something like this happen.
But also 100 zombies for what? Like, here's the thing. What does do well against 100 zombies?
Bullets.
Well, I mean, like fire.
Then again, how many bullets does like a single person like have?
Yeah, right? Like you got like maybe 30 to a clip, and then you're just like reloading.
It's not like a light machine gun. Just
yeah.
I think it's one of those things like Sun Tzu. You just light them up or something. Dig a big ditch, and they fall in the ditch, and then you light them up.
We got our strategist. We got the strategist Sam. We got the strong man's Josh right here. We're gonna be all right. I'm gonna find you guys when the apocalypse happens or when COVID Omega happens. And
oh my god,
COVID Omega,
the Z virus,
the Z variant, right? Well, oh god, it's happening.
Jesus,
man.
Okay, what do you think about this?
Yeah,
if we're talking about fighting zombies, animal zombies,
that's
could you take a wolf, a zombie wolf? How would you deal with it, Josh?
How fast is it, by the way?
It's like a normal wolf.
So I don't know how fast normal wolves are. This degeneration didn't hurt it at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. So a zombie wolf. Am I still wearing all my gear and shit?
Let's say.
If I'm still wearing all my gear, I fuck that wolf up. Now, if I'm not wearing my gear, now the wolf is extremely dangerous for me, and I'd be like, someone has to shoot that thing.
Well, okay, let's say you're not going to get infected. It can't spread from the wolf to you. What percent do you have to win unmaimed?
You could get
injured, but not maimed.
But not,
Well, you can heal in a week, 2 weeks.
Okay, so it's almost like a normal wolf.
Yeah, so like what percent would you put on it?
Wolves have a nasty bite, and wolves usually go for kills like immediately. They always go for jugular shots, and they always.
But they're in packs, so they're not really trained.
And,
for 1v1
yeah,
against
although I
people.
could see like a singular wolf like attack a man, right?
Yeah, a single wolf. Like if it jumps on you and gets you down,
You think like this like yeah, let's just say like one wolf right now. I guess it's sort of
Yes.
standardized it versus like well
I don't have
packs
a,
of
I don't
six.
have a. It's like I'd like to imagine that I'd like to imagine that I choke that thing out and I call it a day, because I could still get it around its neck and I could still kill it like any other dog. But
choking, would you go for the choke? Because you could kick it, right? I feel like
they have a high pain threshold. Dogs do. I don't think I put it
a lot
out.
of animals.
Like you can hit a dog with a shovel sometimes, and dogs will be okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah, like you hit a person with a shovel, that dude's out.
Right.
It'd be hard. Like I think the choke would be like literally you'd have to let it come in and then hope you get around its neck while you're in the struggle, go into that scramble, and you probably get bit once or twice. And the thing is, it'll probably tear some shit up. But if it doesn't tear off your arms, you can grab its neck and choke it. And I think that's just too much risk to be worth it. Right. I want to say on the good end, there's a 50-50. On the bad end, like I don't know, man. There might
like
be a
70-30.
Hey, the fact that you're even like aware of how you would go after, take down like a wolf or dog or whatever, that's better than most people. I'm like, I don't even know what I would do against a wolf. I'm just like, oh god, it's on me.
Yeah, you'd have to
scarier is like a monkey or a chimpanzee.
Oh
like,
man,
what do you
Cover
do?
Your balls.
They're so strong.
Cover your fucking balls. They will rip your balls off.
That's new to me.
Those monkeys are violent, dude. Monkeys okay, here's the thing. People don't understand. We have war nonstop. We keep talking about world peace. We're fucking chimps. And chimps are violent. Yeah. Like they are hella violent. We keep fighting over shit. We're not any better.
But like we have advantages over them, right? Like we're taller than most chimps. You have like they're lower to the ground. You can maybe kick them. Like, what is your approach?
Okay, with
1v1 a chimp.
Is it a chimp or
a chimpanzee?
So the fucking orangutan looking niggas. What are we talking about?
All right, chimpanzee, orangutan, because they're big, right?
Yes,
130 pounds.
Bro,
how much? How many?
130 pounds.
That's a lot.
That's dangerous, bro. Yeah. That thing is going to fuck me up.
5 feet tall.
Bruh.
But that's like max like extended.
So
let's also hope there's no like things for it to climb up on and just, got aerial damage too, Yeah.
Here's the thing, they're vicious. Like they have fangs, Godswill. They have fangs.
Geez. Like claws?
They have claws? No, they
like teeth, like really big teeth.
They have the canines. But the thing is, they will fuck you up. Like they are strong animals. And they're mad. And here's the thing, they're vindictive. Like chimpanzees, they're vindictive as hell. Like if you kill one of theirs, they'll remember it and start killing whatever they can to yours. Yeah. Like
it's crazy.
They're basically humans without the frontal lobe to reason why they shouldn't do things.
Man. So unarmed, we don't have any advantages. You can't use knees or elbows or anything against them.
If you don't flatline that man, if you don't flatline that chimp, he's gonna be so mad,
bruh.
You're gonna be shredded. He's going to eat your face. Like,
I've heard that. Like with bears, that's how they fight each other. Is they like go for each other's face, and whoever wins, eats each other's face. So whenever they maul people, that's what they do.
Bro, animals are different.
They say yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I have to learn all these techniques just to be viable. Like, think about this. I've been training for fighting for 12 years. I'm still 50-50 with a wolf. He hasn't trained at all. Like, I'm so nervous about the chimpanzee. Like,
yeah. But 130 pounds, how are they that strong for that low weight?
Composition.
I feel like it's dense. Like,
but it's dense. It's still the same mass. Like,
I don't know.
Muscle
like a pound of steel versus a pound of feathers.
Like how much your muscle can actually contract and things like that is completely. I believe it's controlled by electrical impulses in your muscle and how much you can generate to actually do things. There's a lot, and they can just do more.
Now I want to see Discovery show like humans versus zombie animals, and see.
This came up because there was a tier list.
We don't win. We don't win a lot of these fights, Sam.
I know. I mean, that's the thing is that a lot of people kind of overrate how strong people are or how strong animals are. I don't know. It's wild.
Yeah, underestimate animals, but overestimate humans, right?
Or vice versa. I mean, there's certain animals people think are way stronger than they are, and certain ones they think are way weaker than they are.
I guess for everybody to understand that.
What about a python? Like
I could beat a python.
human-sized python, like 200 pounds.
I could beat that.
That's
I could
fine.
beat that.
Right.
Because like if
you
you
can
unravel it, it's just
isolated, right?
trying to squeeze you, right?
Yeah. Now, if you do get caught in it, you're dead because I think we'll wrap you up and kill you.
What about a cow? Like a full-size cow?
That sounds like a lot.
I mean, it has weak points. But
Yeah,
it can charge you. I mean, it's speed at that point, right?
Yeah.
People get tossed up.
Because
you
get
see the
trampled,
rodeos, right?
You'll be fucked. Well, he
But
said
the thing
cow,
is,
not a bull. He said cow.
Yeah, or even a bull. Like,
Well, then a
they're
fuck,
not.
Sam.
I mean, now we're upgrading. Since you said cow would be fine.
And this is like punching it, right?
I mean, you're unarmed.
Whatever you can.
But you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
How do you deal with it?
A cow's got, 4 stomachs? There's a possibility here. So the worst thing about a cow is if you get trampled. If you get fucked up, you get trampled, you have a problem.
So you don't want to go on the ground.
I would say you absolutely do not want to go to the ground with a cow because it will crush you. And that's the scariest part. It doesn't kick or anything like that. Not crazy. It's not like a donkey. But I would say be careful with the cow. I would say more tired out because they're not over. Our cardio would be our big thing in that fight. So moving around and getting it tired is probably the best thing you can do. And then you go to work and start beating the piss out of one of its stomachs.
What is stomach?
Blood
Is that the weak point? You get the milk and you loot the milk.
God.
That was my theory, is that like whoever goes on the ground first loses. Even if it's like a ostrich or something. Like you just have to get them down on the ground before you go on the ground.
I'll fucking ostrich up. I know I'll fucking ostrich up.
Bro, they're huge.
No, they're big. I'll strangle the fuck out of an ostrich. He has one opportunity to poke my eyes out, and if he doesn't get it, I'm strangling him. That long ass neck.
9 feet tall.
Long ass neck. Bruh, Sam, cut it out. I will kill an ostrich.
330 pounds. Okay.
That man has no arms. How's he gonna balance himself up?
That's true.
I mean,
But he's got like raptor claws. Like these are straight up dinosaurs with feathers.
I'll fuck that thing up, Sam.
Yeah.
He better kill me.
Right.
He had better kill me. Because I will grab his neck. I will wring him out.
Oh wow.
How would you deal with a seal or a wall?
Seal?
Oh my god.
They're
would not.
huge.
I would not deal with a seal.
You can't get the neck. There's no way.
No, seals
don't have a neck,
that's not a win. That's not a fight you win. You don't win against the seal.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't win against the seal. There's no win in that.
Like
Same thing with
unarmed.
hippo. There's no way.
No, absolutely. They're the deadliest.
Seals are crazy. What did he say?
He said hippopotamus. Yeah,
I mean, they get people by surprise, I think, is why it's the most deadly right
Bro,
now. But,
no, they can.
I mean, even
they
then, they're fast.
They're
aren't they
fast, yeah.
fast?
They're pretty fast.
Like, for sure in water,
in
but
water
like,
too.
yeah, but
In water, there's a 100% chance of death.
yeah,
On land, there's still a pretty high chance.
30
of
miles
death.
per hour running on land.
30.
Bruh.
Yes.
Wow.
Ugh.
Wow.
But like,
So-
how good is their agility? Could they really pin you down
Cut
if
angles.
you're trying to dodge them?
Not the best, but it's like they're fast enough. Like, how fast is your agility? The
I
thing,
mean,
here's
like-
the thing. Here's the thing people be forgetting. Like, I'll just cut angles. I'm like, how fast you run where you can cut angles like Deion Sanders?
The thing is, like, we
People act like they
train.
know- everyone swears they're an NFL player. Everyone's like, I
I
don't see it, bro. I don't see it. Yeah, I feel like most of y'all blow your ankles out and the hypotenuse kills you, bro.
Because
It's not gonna
so
work
if you
out.
were to out juke a hippo, what are you doing to it? You know that
It's
would be
endurance.
like-
You just got to run away.
Because he'll keep turning. He'll keep turning and coming back around for you. And what are you gonna just keep running and juking him until he's burned out? Like, I feel like the hippo will catch you. Feel like
I
the
mean,
hippo- you're gonna get to a
The
jeep or
historical
something.
humans, they would just chase stuff down in just like endurance, right? That was the old
But then
strat.
how would you even hurt it? It's a hippo.
Without a weapon, there's no way.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
can't
thing is-
imagine. Like it just even seems like just too thick to hurt.
And it just takes him
But-
biting down on you one time to tear whatever he wants off.
Absolutely.
Their bite force is crazy. Like, they can crush you.
Let me see
Yeah,
what else
man.
we got.
We're not made to win these fights. That's why we have technology. We have frontal
Yeah,
lobes.
right.
We build tools to kill
Yep.
these things.
I know, right?
Right.
I'm like unarmed. I'm like, geez. Like I'm just
Unarmed,
thinking
I'm
Mortal
beating up
Kombat.
What tool would you pick if it was all around for every animal? It'd have to be a spear, right?
A gun.
I would
What
say
are you-
machete,
What
or
are
like
you doing?
a melee
weapon,
gun,
a melee
right?
weapon. Yeah.
Wait, what do you say,
if, I had
sir?
to, if I had to choose like a melee weapon, it'd probably be like a machete. It just seems like close enough to the body, but like far enough to like do something to things, right?
But
take a
again, like
spear.
Josh was saying, it could get stuck. And like you might not be able to kill it with one
So you want like a piercing,
like a
thing?
hippo.
Now I'm
Stabbing
thinking
weapon.
like
I'd go for the spear.
I'm thinking like Dark Souls now.
Yeah, exactly. There was a video I saw. They're driving like a safari, and there's like a ship that just keeps rolling. I was like, "Oh, he's playing Dark Souls. This guy, he's training."
Oh wow,
oh man,
I can't imagine. Honestly, that's such a wild concept. But now
all those animals are scary, man.
Yeah, I was like, you chose.
But I still think like the judo strat would be the most powerful because they're not going to expect that. They're not getting thrown around by other hippos. You know, there's got to be some way.
I'm not going to judo with hippos.
I'm not saying hippo, but I mean like with a cow.
A cow?
You got to be able to get the cow on the ground somehow, right?
Yeah,
like
I say ram
maybe
it
you
from
can
the
trip
side
it
or
up,
something.
maybe.
You can
like the weak points are the
knock
knees.
a cow over. But you don't want to.
I mean,
go
they
under.
can
You
get
don't
up,
want to
right?
risk it.
It's like really slowly, but I don't know.
By that time,
the cow tipping is
you could probably
myth.
fuck it up. You could probably fuck it up. Like that's the thing. The cow's possible because if you get to the side of it, you're 100%. If you're big enough, you could ram it and knock it over. Just cow tipping. You're cow tipping, and at that point, then you stomp that motherfucker out. But
and I think that's the biggest thing. Is how we got to this discussion. Is that stomping is overpowered. Like that's why it's not allowed because it's just too strong. That's why it's nerfed.
Yes, your force against the ground. It's a lot.
Yeah, because you use the gravity and you're just it's so easy to stomp.
Yeah, but as far as fucking most of those animals that can get up, like the wolf's not.
Do they know? Maybe they do. Like if you see dogs fight each other, like they're grabbing each other's legs and stuff. Like maybe it's built into them too to be able to do a little.
They have to hunt. They know how to fight. They just have their own version of fighting.
But could they counter like a takedown?
Well, I'm not doing a double leg. Like I'm not ankle picking this thing. You know what I mean?
There's 4 of them. You better get all 4.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just like there's no way of knocking a dog. The dog will get up too quick. It's like a cat. Not to that extent, but it will get up pretty fast.
What else? Something higher from the ground, like a horse.
I don't think we're killing a horse, bro.
I don't know. Like just unarmed too.
Yeah, the horse will kick your head off. Like
yeah,
or at least break your jaw.
You have to be behind them, right, for them to be able to kick at you.
Okay, let me put it like this.
They can also like run you over too.
That's true.
Yeah, they can trample you. For sure. So you're in front of it, it tramples you. If you're to the side or to the it just turns its ass and kicks you in the face.
Yeesh.
Right. Yeah.
It's not getting good for you. The horses they just have too much knockout power.
Yeah.
I gotta pray that PETA never finds this episode.
These are zombies, by the way, PETA.
Okay. Oh, okay. Everything's okay now. Right?
In Minecraft.
It's like zombie cow. Like what happened? Like oh no, zombie python's coming after us. Josh, unarmed. You can't reach a gun. We gotta kill this python without I don't know.
Pythons are weird because pythons will bite you and then wrap you up, right?
Yeah.
And like they don't have a neck,
chimpanzee
right? That you can
I don't think it's I don't know if you can choke a python. That sounds weird.
You can crush its head.
You can step it. Yeah, I guess you can crush it.
Nah,
you can step on it.
I don't think you're pulling apart the jaws.
What a black thing to say. You can step on it.
You can step on it. There we go. Problem solved.
Nature.
That's the key. Like the lessons today, Josh is going to win the fights, and he will use the power of stomping.
Curb stomp.
Just Goomba stomp.
Signature move, curb stomp. Oh my gosh. Well, this is a pretty good episode. I mean, we're an hour in. We're an hour in. So I was just like, I guess this is the talk today. I didn't have a plan. I was just like, let me just talk to the boys, and I didn't know it was gonna go this way.
That's such an Uncle Ray answer. Hey, Uncle, how'd you do with a python? I step on him, motherfucker. Like, bro, it's a python.
Oh my gosh. No, I want like a Mortal Kombat thing of you with animals. Yeah. Josh versus chimpanzee.
And I don't want people to feel any type of way. Like, here's the thing. Like, I know how to use my body pretty well. I've been using my whole life. I've been trained to use my body to kill things, and I know for a fact that most of these animals would fuck me up.
Yeah, I think you gave like good answers. You weren't like, oh, I can fuck that up. You were like very realistic. Where I'm like,
I hear people at parties talk about beating up bears and shit. I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah, they watch too much Revenant.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. It's like, what's like the biggest animal that like you could like effectively kill? You know?
I mean, dogs.
I mean,
Yeah, dogs.
people wrestle
like
crocodiles and stuff, but
yeah,
you gotta know techniques. You gotta catch them off guard and all that.
Although you're not killing the crocodile, you're just like, I gotta survive this thing, right? Or are they killing the crocodile?
I don't know. I'm not
That
a
sounds
croc
like a lot.
wrestler.
Yeah,
I think we lose the most of everything. Everything is made to be in the wild. Like we're the only ones that are like, we're just not that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a sheep killing me. You know, just
Bruh,
I'll
really?
fuck up a sheep, bro.
Like, maybe not a sheep. Maybe not a sheep. Maybe like a
goat, like a
ram. Like I'm thinking like a ram.
A ram would be
those
good.
are fucking terrifying.
Yeah. A sheep.
I think I can fuck that up too, though. I think I could get a ram.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get you.
Yeah, I mean, it could get you a couple times. The thing is, rams don't normally kill with their first shot.
Mm.
Like normally they launch you, right?
Yeah.
Because I have a couple opportunities to get back up and like finagle this thing.
Yeah, that's true. If you're able to get a hold of his horns, maybe. Right?
If you grab it and like you're trying to get a wrestling move on it, like they're gonna squirm. Like I don't even know. It'd be so hard to keep a hold of that thing.
Yeah.
That's when you do
have to,
the
like,
Godzilla strat. You gotta like if it misses even one time and you're not knocked down, like oh shit, it misses. You're grabbing it by the body and you're slamming that motherfucker.
Signature move. Stop.
You immediately progress to stopping, bro.
Oh man, I mean, I guess that's really it. You just have to sort of break the neck and just be like, all right, I hope this thing is not gonna.
Our hands are fragile, bro. Like our hands are so weak. But our feet, our heels are good. Yeah.
Wow.
I get a goat.
Well, we learned a lot today.
I guess so. All right. Anyways, Josh, we're rooting for you for your fight. Let's hope that you're not having to do any cockfights with animals, you know?
I'm fighting only humans, bro. That shit is crazy.
Year is 2070, and we've progressed past fighting humans. Now we're fighting animals again. I don't know.
Like challenging us for the earth.
Right. Dolphins or something like that. I don't know.
Have you seen those videos of like bears walking into houses?
Oh yeah,
they'll like open up the door and
I've
like
seen
go to the
kangaroos.
fridge.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, kangaroos are tough.
Kangaroos drown things. You know that?
Man,
I've heard that.
They literally take things into the water and they hold them under the water and drown them.
That's scary. To be drowned by an animal, like a land animal. Just
they're
please.
big rats. They're marsupials, but they look like big rats to me. And I'm like, they do that to dogs all the time in Australia.
I heard that, like dingoes and such, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, that's dirty.
That's hardcore. Australia, another reason to be scared of it. Golly. Well, I guess this is a good stopping point.
Yeah, that we didn't cover nothing in the last hour. But,
it was good. No, this was the shoot the shit. I appreciate y'all. You know, hey, if zombie apocalypse happens and if zombie apocalypse happens, I'm coming to find both of y'all. Strategist, Sam, and then fighter, Josh. We got this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not sure how well I can fend.
He's gonna podcast for help.
Hey, and if you hear this podcast, make sure that you help us because we are running out of food. I'm the voice. And we'll be on the lookout for the fight. Hopefully, no, actually, well, as soon as I get like more details about the blanket fort party, I'll be talking about it. But because I want to do the party after you win your fight. So yeah, we're working on that.
Got to fight that same weekend too.
Ooh,
oh wow!
And I told him about the blanket fort. He was like, "Bro, that sounds live." He's like, "Yo,
yes,
so
sir.
The plan is me and Minicon both win our fights March 5th, and then we go straight to LA.
Yes, sir.
And we party it out.
Yes, sir. It'll be a good time.
Man.
It'll be absolutely a blast. But I'll get more details when that's gonna happen. It'll be a Los Angeles for sure. But man, that was a funny episode though. But yeah, and also like it was good. Honestly, like the first half, great, or first 2/3, great. I learned some things. If I ever want to get into fighting, you know, I definitely know who to hit up. And you know, more importantly, I'm excited for you, Josh. I'm not the one who's going to go fight. You are, and I feel pretty good about what you got going on. You got a good plan. Anything else you guys want to say?
Nah, I feel fantastic. I gotta go to sleep and get ready for practice.
Dope. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for joining the podcast. I feel like it's a good start to the year. Like I just needed like a good hangout session with the boys, and here we are.
Yeah, getting back into it.
Yeah. So yeah, stay on the lookout for more to come. Appreciate everybody that listened all the way.
More of this.
Yeah, subscribe for more of this.
More of that That's Dope content where we talk about beating up animals. We're right here, right? Don't call Peter on us. Please rate and review this podcast on iTunes. Don't tell Peter about us. As always, stay dope, y'all. Peace.
Peace.